Welcome to Riffin with Raff and AD, coming to you live from the Koppel Chevrolet GMC studios. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Now here's former Huskers, Chris Raff and Aaron Davis.
All right, we're back here for another night of Riffin with Raff and AD. AD, brother, I am back from Arizona.
Back from the paradise, basically. The pictures you were posting, man. Meanwhile, I was freezing here, cold, gloomy, and you're down there just kicking it, man.
Yep, it was awesome.
Excuse me. How many holes?
72 holes. 72.
Gage, how good would that be, man?
Everyone who knows me knows I love some Arizona. So any chance I get to talk to people who were there or whatever, like last week you were down there, we were doing the show, or a couple weeks ago. It's my favorite place on earth, Scottsdale.
I love it, man. I love it. Carter, you ever been down there before, man?
I have not.
Bro, you might not come back, bro. You may not come
Seriously,
back. I love it down there, man. And I'll tell you, when I don't like AZ, it's from about June until about September.
I'm fine with it.
120 degrees?
I'll trade 3 months of triple digits for 3 months of the cold that we get here. Yes, heartbeat, no problem. I don't work outside, so when it's triple digits, the air conditioning everywhere down there is at 60 anyway. As long as you don't have leather seats in your car and stay inside, the natives, they got it figured out.
Yeah.
Right, Chris?
Heck yeah. And now we're talking to a couple of them. They're just like, just go out in the morning, get your golf in. What do you say, like 85, and then it ranges up over hundreds in the afternoon, but you have your golf in the morning, so you're good to go.
Bro,
you don't come out till about 7 o'clock at night. Everyone down there has a swim pool.
Yeah.
So you post up by the pool. I mean, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
You know
I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what I am going to do now. I wouldn't mind doing it from December 26th until April.
Sounds like a retirement plan in the
telling
books.
you, man, I do not want to spend.
Book it.
I don't want to spend winters here anymore when I'm older, man. I don't want to do it at all. I don't want a snow blower. I want none of that stuff, man.
That's what I'm going to be. I'm going to be a snow brother.
So guys, I get down there and my buddy, we'll just call him Rob. He knows who he is. Gets down there and he's like, hey, you want to come up to the Bay Club on 17? And I'm like, yep, sounds good. Let's go. So I get up there on that. It was Friday. Or no, I take that back. It was Thursday. And Charlie Hoffman finishes his first round and he comes up to the Bay Club after he completes his round. I'm hanging out with Charlie. I got to meet him, got my picture taken with him and all that stuff. I think he was like 4 under after the first day, looking to, make some moves, and shook his hand. I said, keep on going. Have yourself a tournament, Charlie. And next day I wake up and he just goes completely bonkers on the USGA about he hit one in the water, dropped it, went back in the water, dropped it again, went back in the water. So he placed it. And when he placed it, the ball rolled back in the water. And I guess it hasn't been changed yet, but when you place it and it rolls in, that's a penalty stroke. So he went completely, because he thought they changed it where if you placed it and rolled in the water, you could just place it again. So
as much as I love golf, man, it has so many stupid rules. Stupid rules. Like, I mean, for instance, like when you drop it 2 times from your knee. They moved it to your knee. These people behind your back. Now it's from your knee. You drop it 2 times. If you don't like it live, then you just place it down. How about just place it down to start with and get the game moving faster?
Exactly.
There's so many stupid rules in golf that make no sense as far as like efficiency. I love the game. It's one of my favorite games, but some of the rules are just ridiculous, man.
Yeah, but we don't follow any of those rules. You know what I'm saying?
No.
And those guys, it's just their own fault because he should have. And I'm a Charlie Hoffman fan, but at the same time, Tiger and all those guys, they always call the rules guy and let the rules guy tell them, "Yep, you're good."
Well,
right? So, it's his own fault. They make millions of dollars. You better know the rules or get the dude over there to help him out.
Yeah. Got to do it quick.
Yep.
Speaking of quick, the Super Bowl.
It's over.
The Super Bowl. It seems like the season went by quick, Carter. I mean, the only thing depressing about the Super Bowl when it's over, there ain't no football until August.
Well,
no real football.
No real football.
We got the USFL in 60 days.
That's not real.
You mean the creme de la creme? I mean, you want the best of the best, but there'll be some athletes in that league, though, man.
Okay, with spring ball. Spring ball's not that far away.
Yeah, April 9th is the spring game.
That's the spring game, but spring ball starts soon. So I'm okay with it. You just got transition to college ball starts.
So will you be down there then doing the practices, or will they call you, or how does that work?
If they have a need, yeah, there'll be a schedule and they'll go. But I go to a handful of different schools. I guess how the schedule for Missouri. So I'll be actually next week. I got to go work in Missouri scrimmage. So it doesn't. They start here early. So good stuff.
Well, folks, we got Jay Gates, former Husker, with us again, 1997 national champion. Also does a lot of officiating on tonight's Riffin with Raff and AD. If you have questions, call the Honda of Lincoln hotline, 464-5685. Again, that's 402-464-5685. As well as Sarner Heyman text line at 402-464-5685. This is Riffin with Raff and AD. The game Sunday, there was some big calls in that game. There was some big no calls in that game. If you'd like questions, you'd like comments, give us a text, give us a ring. Jay, there were some big calls in that game, man.
Let me preface this first to all officiating, just so we're clear. I have never worked in the NFL. I've never been trained in the NFL, and I give mad respect to those guys as the best officials in the country. That's just first. I have to start there.
Well, you figure go ahead.
Yeah, but you're right. There were some great. It was some great calls, right? And there were some calls that are subject to human interpretation, and that's the game of football that we know at any level. Officiating is a part of it.
Jay, you think about those refs that were at that game. First of all, they were there because they graded the best, correct? Over throughout the season.
Hands down. That's the best the NFL found to put on the field. Yes, hands down.
Absolutely. So let me ask you this. When Higgins dang near ripped the guy's helmet off on the touchdown for Cincinnati, how do you not call that?
Here's the deal. You and I look.
I like the long pause. Here's the deal.
Here's the deal. You and I are sitting at home stuffing our face with chicken wings and watching it. And we got NBC zooming in on it. Right? I can tell you many, many times as a deep wing, which is the official that would probably have the primary coverage on that. If he was straight lined and the way that play was set up and we didn't get all the camera angles, it's a piece of cake to not see it. I mean, if you're that official and those players are moving at you and you're the deep field judge, side judge, I don't remember when the play occurred, but if you're that guy and based on how tight they were running and you're watching that, you may not see that pull just because of where you're physically standing. So, I mean, I can't speak to that particular official or the other ones, but there's 2 or 3 that would have been able to have some look at it. But we weren't given the luxury of what camera angle. Of course, we as America, NBC or Fox, whoever covered the game, they had it zoomed in.
There's a billion cameras, right?
Yeah,
right. It would just seem so egregious, though.
Go ahead.
It just seems so egregious because my man's face was like this. I mean, he was mugged. He was mugged.
There was no question there was contact with the face, man.
Yeah,
I think that's undisputed. Now, if you look at the pull report, the report that the official gave after the game, they acknowledged that it happened. They just said it didn't rise to the level of a foul. So
said they didn't twist it, or
so maybe whoever did see it, the official report was it was seen and it did not rise to the level of a foul. Now, I think they had 2 options, and since I don't know NFL rules, I can't say if they had the option of going with pass interference or face mask that became pass interference. I can't speak on how that works in the NFL, but obviously they stayed off of both of those calls.
Yeah,
they did. So and they let the touchdown stand. So
well, the thing about you have some of the Bengals fans, screaming it was rigged, it was fixed. Wait a minute. So did you miss the one where Higgins? What we're just talking about? It's like there was missed calls on both sides. I wouldn't say one favored the other at all. It was equal on both sides of it.
I personally, I mean, I think I'm going to stand with the officials. I mean, think about it. So 98% of the calls were correct. Nobody said anything.
Exactly.
Right. If that play happens 8 minutes in the first quarter or second quarter, we're not sitting here talking about it. Right.
Yep.
It's because it was later in the ball game. And, depending on how you look at it, you could say it helped you win or lose the ball game. you know, that's every ball game. Is there not a
There's
football,
always-
is there not a
exactly.
football game
Yeah.
where you can go on and turn to the officiating if you so choose?
Yeah.
Well, I would say it's true, but the 1993 Orange Bowl, when we got cheated by Florida State, those refs should never be allowed to ref a game. I don't care if it's Pee Wee ball, Pop Warner ball. They should never be allowed to ref a game again as bad as they cheated us in 93. Would you agree to that, though, Gates?
I cannot. I cannot offer my comments.
Jay's got
on-
like two
No.
allegiances going. He's
Oh,
got
yeah.
his refereeing
Oh, yeah.
family, his Husker family.
Oh, yeah.
There'll be no comment from
Yeah,
Jay
no,
on that
it's
one.
It was very nice to see Nebraska bounce back the next year. And win the national championship.
They put on a heck of a run.
Hey, at 116 was the motivation to get back and do it again. And Osborne led his team to a championship.
Bam.
Jay, you know what the thing about it is, no matter what you guys do, is dang it if you do, dang it if you don't, a
That's-
lot of times, because someone's always going to find something to complain about. It's usually the people that complain a lot of times, OJ, that don't know what they're talking about.
Well,
Sometimes you got some folks who are just saying, that was, I'm like, no, it was not. They don't know what they're talking about. You guys are in a tough situation no matter what, because you're always got a coach in your ear.
right.
What has been one of the, you don't have to obviously name place or anything like that. Was there ever a time to where you could have lost, could have find yourself losing your cool because some coach in your ear too much?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And you know me personally.
Yeah.
So I have a line, right? Right. I mean, officiating is important to me, but there's a line where I
Right.
can be like, man, hey,
You're not going to disrespect
hey,
me
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
exactly. You know, there's a line. A lot of so yes, and usually, hopefully, as I've moved up and I've learned from that line being crossed, you learn at a lower level. You learn on a Friday night, or you learn, you know, and a mentor will get you and say, Aaron, silence is golden. You can't quote silence, right? You don't
Right.
end up in the paper.
Yep.
So I've learned techniques and things to say, like, Coach, could you repeat that? You know, I mean, there's a lot of things you can say to diffuse the situation
Right.
without, you know, hey, Coach, do you want a timeout?
Without letting it escalate.
Yeah, without, and that's really a skill as an official, because I can tell you early on, I had a few that intimidated me because I was new and I didn't know any better.
Hmm.
Then I got to the point where I was like, hold on, I'm a grown man too, right?
Right.
You know, and then,
Right.
but 99% of the time, and I think most officials will tell you, coaches have great questions or good
Yep.
questions. They may be emphatic, but all they want is information. So every time we have a pregame, you're far better off answering their questions and getting the information,
Yeah.
and they'll be fine. 99 times out of 100, say, Coach, I don't know. They're like, well, what? You know, and you're like, Coach, I didn't call it. There's 8 of us out here.
Right.
What I will do is the next dead ball, I will find out why he threw the flag on 82, but I can't, you know,
I can't answer
I'll
that.
get it to you. Or, okay. Why is the clock running? You know, they're asking questions on TV. It might look like we're getting cussed out, but really they're just asking good football questions.
Mhm.
And they do it loud and they do it with some colorful language.
Yep.
You know?
I didn't think they cussed anymore in college football.
I think most officials have thick skin, right? You know, I mean, on Friday nights, they say, you know, sportsmanship is the deal, and you got to throw flags on kids for using bad language. But time you get to Saturdays, you better be used to hearing some things.
Think about this, you guys, regarding the Super Bowl. And Jay, like I said, there's always questions that people can bring up during games, etc. One thing that's not a referee issue by any means, it's more of a need for this man to need almost the National Guard to protect him. Joey Burrow was sacked 70 times this year. The only other 2 guys before him was Carr. I looked this up. David Carr was sacked 76 times for the Texans in the franchise when it expanded in 2002. Randall Cunningham was sacked 72 times in 86. Think about that. That man was sacked. Think about this. In the playoffs alone was close to 25 times
Yeah.
because he was sacked 9 times in a single game against the Titans. Remember that? 9 times. 7 times he was sacked in the Super Bowl. I'm not sure how many times he was sacked against KC.
I think.
9, wasn't it?
No,
Was
Was it
it
9
only
against
9?
KC
It
too?
was only like 1 or 2 against KC.
Yeah,
He
nine,
didn't get
nine
hit
was
in
against the
that
Titans. 7 was
Tennessee sacked him
It was
9
like
times.
2 or 3, I think, against the Chiefs.
So you think about that, man. Just within 3 games alone, the man was sacked about, almost 22 times. Was it AC or MCL that he messed up during the Super Bowl when he grimaced that shot he took?
MCL.
MCL?
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
You think about this. He's already had surgery, missed it last year. All right. This year, 70 times that man was thrown on the ground. I mean, something's got to be corrected as far as that offensive line, or Joe Burrow's not going to make too many more of those years being sacked 70 times, man.
Oh, they'll fix that pretty quick. I mean, they know
free agency draft.
Yeah, as good as he is, they'll fix that problem and they'll be back. And when they do fix it, you better look out because we know what he can do when he's got time. So they'll fix it. They realize that, you know, guys like Aaron Donald and Von Miller were trying to get a ring, and that's going to happen, but they'll fix it.
And they know too, players are going to want to play with Joe Burrow. I mean, he's that guy, that leadership, what he's shown in the playoffs with no line.
Right.
So now you're going to have a bunch of linemen that want to go there in free agency and play under him as, you know, their quarterback and their captain. So I think they're going to pick up some people in free agency. Definitely be priority number one in the draft. So I think people that are just saying, well, do you think Joe's going to leave Cincinnati? I'm like,
no.
I'm like, he's not leaving Cincinnati. Cincinnati's not letting him leave. I mean, you think that Patrick Mahomes got a big contract. I'd have a hunch that Cincinnati would probably pony up that same type of money to keep Joe Burrow there.
I think he's good. I saw they locked down Zach Taylor, and if I'm a lineman anywhere in the league where I can go a free agent, I'm calling my agent and say, give me to Cincinnati. Right? I want to go to Cincinnati and play with Joe Burrow and protect his backside or be on that line. You know Cincinnati's in the market. Right?
Think about this. When was the last time in recent years when you've heard somebody say, get me to Cincinnati? It's usually get me the heck out of Cincinnati.
But that's what a player does.
That's right. It's a franchise player.
You look back at the Packers when Brett Favre got there. No one wanted to go to Green Bay. Brett Favre gets there. One player makes that kind of difference. So it'll be the same thing for Cincinnati. I have no doubt that they're going to improve that line, and he's just going to get better. It's scary, and he's got that thing about him. I mean, even being sacked 7 times in the Super Bowl, he's won. If that line holds on that final play, he has Chase running wide open.
On the right side.
Yeah.
Wide open card. I mean, he's basically waving. But my man had one in Mississippi to get rid of the ball.
If that.
That's any quarterback. I don't care who it is. If you don't have time,
it's not going to work.
So would you guys say it's safe to say that Burrow's not going to be buying his offensive line any gifts?
You know, I would assume that he probably will, because he's that type of guy that they made it to the Super Bowl after 33 years. He's probably the guy he will probably, even after taking the beating that he took, he'll still, find a way to reward them, because that's just who he is. That's how he was brought up, So I would assume that he probably still will give them something.
I would do when I get him a blocking clinic tape. No, and I'm joking, man. Because to your point, I'm kind of joking. Sacked 70 times. I need some help. I will say this, though, about him being a good guy, and he is, because even after he was sacked against the Titans so many times, he would just get up, wasn't yelling, throw the ball back to the ref. Then I was watching this clip on social media today. I'm going to send it to you guys, man. He's introducing himself to everybody. How you doing, Aaron? How you doing, Waddle? Man, I enjoyed watching you play growing up as a kid. I mean, it's just like,
yeah.
Who does
Walks
that?
up to Von Miller. He's like, Von, nice to meet you. My name's Joe. I'm just like, he might have a hunch who you are, but hey, glad to meet that introduction. So that was a great video that came out today.
That shows you the humility of the guy, too. Speaking of Von Miller, speaking of Aaron Donald, do they sign those guys back? Does Von Miller, does he go back to his first love in Denver? Does Aaron Donald really say, I'm done? You think about that, y'all. And let me think about this. I'm asking both of you this right here. Is Aaron Donald in your top 5 as most dominant defensive players ever?
Of all time?
All time.
I don't know if you can make that after 8 years.
Tough.
That's
tough.
That's hard to do. Most dominant right now, yes. All time, there's been some good defensive linemen through the years.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't even thought about who I would say.
I don't either.
But I'm thinking you got like Reggie White, Lawrence Taylor, Deion Sanders, right? I mean, I've already named 3, and I haven't even got into the 90s.
Ronnie Lott,
Ray
Lewis.
So I don't.
Dick Butkus.
That's just
Deacon Jones.
5.
Yep.
Merlin
Aaron
Olsen.
Donald.
The entire steel curtain for all those years. I'm gonna throw Pittsburgh in
there. Pittsburgh who?
Pitt who?
So is he a fantastic player? Is he a Hall of Famer? Probably.
Yeah.
And I'm glad he got his ring. I'm glad, I mean, I wasn't really rooting for anybody, so it didn't matter to me. But it's a good story. Him and Von Miller getting their rings. Is McVay going to be back? That's the question.
Yeah,
right?
he's getting married this summer. He wants to start a family.
Yeah,
so.
and he's got a ring, and he's under 40. The sky's the limit for him. But he said, "Let's run it back." I saw something on.
Yeah, so did Aaron Donald.
He was like, "Let's
He
run
did?
it back."
Yeah.
So you think he comes back?
Well, the thing is,
they have the cap room.
I think Donald comes back. I think Vaughn probably goes off somewhere else in free agency, unless they all come together as a team, because they do have the cap room. But if they all come back, they're going to have to, because Odell Beckham was only on a 1-year contract. So they'd have, and you don't know with his knee, if they're saying it was the ACL. So that might mean he's out until midseason of next year. But if they come together as a team, sort of what Tampa Bay did last year and said, hey, let's run this back, people are going to have to make salary, changes in their contracts to re-sign and stuff like that. So it's a possibility, but it just depends on if they want their money or if they want to try to run it back. And
how much do they have on the salary? How much they have to play with? They're for the Rams, salary cap money wise.
I am not 100% sure on that.
Yeah,
I think where they're at now, they have some, but it's not a ton. That's why they'd have to restructure a lot of contracts, because Von Miller basically was playing. Denver was paying him his contract this year for the most part. So,
which was 40-something million.
Oh, I think it was only like 18 or 17 or 18 a year. So I think Denver.
But there was 2 years left on that contract, wasn't it?
No, he was free agent after this year.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. The 40
but when
number.
you get into the finances, like you think
it can be done.
And I'm not. Yeah, it can definitely be done, because I think Odell was on an incentive-laden contract.
So he was being paid by the Browns.
If they wanted to do it,
it can be done.
It can be done, and I think any manager. Why would you disrupt that if you can keep it?
Yeah,
there's no reason to rebuild.
Right.
As long as you have McVay as your leader coming back. Now, if he breaks, because there was something saying, hey,
he wants to start a family.
He could get into TV, and I mean, he's, like I said, he's got a Super Bowl ring. He's under 40.
Do you think that he comes back?
I think they'll try and galvanize it to have them all come back to make a run at it. They're way too young to not try it. And, a lot of teams have not won Super Bowl, but you start winning 2 in a row, that puts you into elite status. I think there's only been like 5 teams that have ever done it in the history of the NFL. So
Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yep. Denver Broncos.
Yeah, but this day and age, nobody sticks around there's no loyalty.
No,
I got this day and age, but look, I got my ring. I'm done.
No.
I'm gonna ride off into the sunset, give me a cushy little job, talking on the radio, doing a podcast.
Yeah. I'm sure NBC will come a calling for,
Yeah, like Drew Brees.
Some insane amount of money, man. Insane amount of money.
Yeah. That was like, did you see Eminem? He went up to Al Michaels after the game and told him how he was his favorite broadcaster ever. He's like, I heard you might be retiring, and that would be horrible. And Al Michaels is like, I'll be somewhere, because Amazon Prime, I believe, gets the Thursday night game next year, and they're going to pay him a ton of money too.
Crazy!
And he's already like almost 80 years old.
Yeah,
he's just doing it.
Yeah, Al Michaels is getting up there. I wonder how old Al Michaels is right
78?
now.
78. Yep, I'd go 78.
Okay.
78.
We got somebody on the text line says, "Yo, AD, Gates, and Raff, what's up, my man? We can't see the number. We do see the text though. I don't want to broadcast your number online over the air. Appreciate you, brother, for checking in." Then it says, "Gates." This is from Mike. Thoughts on the NT 13U softball team this coming season? They have a lot of speed. Is that one of your buddies?
That sounds like someone who would be involved with my daughter's softball.
Okay.
Because NT tractor or whatever. So I got to say, Landry's excited. And I think they're going to go for the tournament championship. Whatever that may be.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Hey, y'all didn't know y'all gonna
Come invade your show.
Did you not know, Gates? Gates, they got me. AD. Raff.
Oh,
My goodness.
Hey,
We thought it was an anonymous caller.
I didn't know
It was me.
I didn't know who that was, and I didn't want to say the number just over the air like that either.
I was over there eating AD, and I was like, you know what? I was getting ready to go back home, and I'm like, I'm about to surprise Gates.
Yeah, man, you ought to hop.
And I'm gonna stop by.
We have the host of the Captain Show,
The
former
man.
3-time Oscar champion,
I'm gonna
Rashawn
stop
Jackson.
by, talk to my buddies. Gates,
I thought he got off.
AD.
I thought you got off at 2. You know,
Right, I did, but we had a meeting, and I felt like, okay, you know what? I can go home, or I can just hang out with Riffin and Raff and AD and Gates.
Yes,
Go over there and hang out
Terrell-
with Riffin and
Terrell's-
Raff for a little bit.
Terrell's gonna be here in about
boy.
25 minutes too.
Dude,
We should just. We should
did
do
you listen to the show today?
I listened to Peace Between My Zooms
Woo, it got heated.
about Adrian.
Yes.
Okay,
Adrian Peterson.
No.
Martinez.
Adrian
Here's
Martinez.
what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a quick break, folks. This is Riffin with Rav and AD. We got a special surprise guest,
Yes.
the host of the Captain Show,
Captain.
Rashawn Jackson. We're gonna talk some Husker football next. Talk to you soon.
Do you know the signs of an opioid overdose? Talk to your physician and pharmacist about naloxone, a drug used to safely reverse an opioid overdose. I'm Dr. Rob Rhodes, a Nebraska family practice physician. Be Opie ready and download a free overdose support tool, the Opie Rescue app. Search Opie Ready for more information.
Paid for by the CDC. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services and aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. It's soul food right here in Lincoln. Ribs, wings, catfish, coleslaw, cornbread, grits. I mean, I'd say it's food like your grandma used to make, but my grandma never made food like that. If you haven't already, you've got to give it a try. Check out their location across from South Point at 27th and Pine Lake, or find their food truck at events all over town, or visit them online at maryellens.com to see the full menu. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Let them fix you a plate.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. And things have obviously been pretty challenging lately with new vehicles, with all the microchip and supply chain issues, but things continue to loosen up as Koppel gets more and more new vehicles in each and every week. We've had many customers also custom order their vehicles. So if you don't see what you want in our current inventory, we can put an order in to get exactly what you want. So go online, reserve your new vehicle at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did.
Based right here in Lincoln, Mosaic in Southeast Nebraska is part of a nonprofit, whole-person healthcare organization that serves people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Mosaic's mission is to relentlessly pursue opportunities to empower people. By providing truly personalized services, this empowerment ranges from helping someone communicate for the first time to helping another gain enough independence to secure a job. If you would like to learn more about Mosaic in Southeast Nebraska's services or to donate, please go to mosaicinfo.org/Southeast Nebraska. Need to send a message? Send it with cake. Congratulations? Here's a congratulations chocolate rum cake from Beatrice Bakery. Thank you? Say thank you with an amaretto cake. I'm sorry that I accidentally hit your mailbox with my car as I was backing out of the driveway and then continued right into your prized petunias. You say that with a lemon drop cake. Everybody knows that. Beatrice Bakery in downtown Beatrice or online at beatricebakery.com. Here to help you say whatever it is you need to say. Welcome to our world of yum.
Listening to this Allstate commercial about savings might be the hardest thing about getting those savings. Save for simply becoming an Allstate customer. Save more for adding DriveWise. And save even more for driving safely. Visit allstate.com or contact your local agent for a quote today. Allstate. Minimum effort, maximum reward.
Not available in every state. New customer savings based on early signing discount. DriveWise is an optional feature. Savings vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Smoothbrook, Illinois.
You knew the risks when you decided to drive drunk. There could be a crash. People could get hurt or killed. But that didn't stop you, did it? You knew you could get arrested. You could incur huge legal expenses. And you could possibly even lose your job. You were well aware of the consequences of driving drunk. But one thing's for sure. You were wrong when you said it was no big deal. Drive sober or get pulled over. This message brought to you by NHTSA.
Yesterday, your water heater worked just fine. Today, surprise! When you're out of hot water, just call the plumbers at Bryant. In most cases, you can get same-day water heater replacement. What you won't get is a costly surprise with the bill. At Bryant, the price you're quoted is the price you'll pay. No last-minute extras for piping or ventilation alterations. Need a new water heater? Just call Bryant, 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Casey's General Store is giving you the chance at winning 2 free tickets to a Nebraska home basketball game this season. Stop by any Casey's location in Lincoln throughout basketball season. Enter your name into the registration box, and you'll have a chance to win 2 tickets to an upcoming Nebraska basketball game. Every drawing will occur at least 24 hours before the game that has its selected winner. So make sure to get to any Casey's in Lincoln today for your chance at 2 free tickets for Nebraska men's basketball games.
Now back to Riffin with Raff and AD on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back again, riffing. We're back again, riffing with Raff and AD on this Wednesday night, fastest 2 hours in sports. And we've got the captain with us, Rashawn Jackson, old number 34. The legend, the man.
BJ, I remember a bunch of us got together, was having some fun in Miami.
Oh, you gonna go Lance Brown on me and say shooting dice?
No, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't do that.
Okay, good. Because Lance Brown just was like,
he just put it out there.
Man, thanks a lot, Lance.
I remember just the practices, VJ, on scout team with me and you. We used to have fun, man.
Oh, man.
We used to have fun down there, and it was hot.
Yes.
It was hot down there.
Yes.
VJ, on the show today, on your show, The Captain. So those folks that are listening right now, Rashawn is a great show from 11 to 2, Monday through Friday. So definitely check it out. Obviously, right here at 90.7 The Ticket. VJ, there was a very interesting dialogue that took place today.
Sure.
All right. Adrian Martinez has a podcast that he went on and shared some things about his experiences here, the injury, etc. What was your take on that? And why was the gentleman a little bit, the conversation got interesting.
It got a little heated. First of all, the only reason why I scrapped my show, I had a special guest coming, and I scrapped it because I wanted to put the Adrian Martinez deal to bed. And when I heard some of the things that he was saying about his broken jaw, because at the end of the day, I know people, I don't know if you know anybody that had a broken jaw before, but they're not doing much movement. They're especially not playing football. So here, let me ask you guys, what quarter was it in the Michigan State game did Adrian Martinez get hurt?
I don't even know.
I have no clue.
I am going to go with the second quarter.
Try the first quarter. First 12 minutes and 39 seconds to go in the game. Jay Gates, you are a referee. Somebody breaks their jaw in the game that gets carted off the field or helped off the field. I don't care how you look at how you cut the cheese, right? They break their jaw during the game with 12 minutes and 39 seconds to go. 9 times out of 10, you would think they were in the first quarter.
Okay. And it was cold.
Yes. He came back into the game. I think he missed one series. He came back into the game. And I said, someone who, because on his podcast, he basically said that he had 6 screws screwed into his jaw to hold his jaw together, and he had rubber bands on the screws. So what I did was I looked up and I used, gosh, I wish you could pull it up. Yeah, you know you messed up.
In today,
you got it. Okay. So yeah, I did have a doctor call.
Yeah.
And he said that you could play with a broken jaw. I get that, and I appreciate the doc calling in. But I don't know if any of you guys know anybody with a broken jaw, but Octavius McFarland broke his jaw.
Broke his.
Okay. And let me tell you, his stuff was wired shut for the next 5, 6, 7 weeks.
He was quiet for a while.
Yeah, he was about 100
He lost a bunch of weight,
65 pounds.
Yeah, he was talking like
right. You would
they wired his stuff shut.
It's like, boy, it's awfully quiet in here.
So you would think that that's the case, right? But I had to pull up because I'm about receipts. I like receipts. I like to, if you're going to. So I had to pull up. Now, you guys know the Parton Minister Society. When he was saying, you done messed up, don't you?
Yeah.
You said at 12:15.
Yeah.
That's in the system. Yeah, so I start playing that in the system. And so, because his words convicted him. Because now you said that you were upset or whatever that the university leaked the fact that you had a broken jaw after the fact 5-6 weeks later, right? Because he didn't play against Iowa, right?
Yeah,
he didn't play against Iowa. Okay,
towards labor.
So you went from screws in your mouth. This is the same week as the Northwestern game. You got screws in your mouth, and then after the remember we blew Northwestern out 56 to whatever, 7, right?
Yep.
How in the world with a broken jaw and 6 screws and rubber bands are you talking on the press game, the post game conference?
It says that he took out the rubber bands or something like that so he could fully speak, because we could fully move his jaws.
Maybe.
Apparently. My thing is this. You play for K-State now.
Thank you.
Talk about K-State.
Yes.
Raff's like we were talking on the way here. You no longer play at Nebraska. And you know what? Adrian had a heck of a career. I mean, hey, applause. Great job.
Great job.
But now you play at K-State. Focus on K-State. When you're done, then you talk about Nebraska.
That's right.
Because for me, if I'm K-State, I'm kind of thinking like, there's a lot of Nebraska talk, which I understand that's where you just left. But let's keep it about the Wildcats.
That's exactly. That's what I thought too. Because at the end of that podcast, he says, we'll come back in future weeks and we'll be telling stories about old Nebraska players.
Yes.
Nebraska
players. I'm like, no.
I don't want to hear about your old girlfriend if I'm the new girlfriend.
It's like, talk about that next year when you're finished.
Well, first of all, you chose, like, he had to sign something to play or whatever. He had to sign something. You chose to play with a broken jaw. That was a choice. That wasn't somebody forced you into playing. You chose to play the next 5-6 games with a broken jaw. That's your responsibility because you talked to your mom and dad and parents and all the people in the know and said, I'm going to do this. What you don't do is go to K-State and you're a Wildcat and you got a Wildcat on your chest and you talk stuff about Nebraska. I got a problem with that.
Yeah, I can see that.
You keep your mouth closed unless you want the old busty bus to get on you. Okay?
I'll tell you, I'm in the part of Husker Nation that has moved on.
Yeah.
I wish that kid,
it's an old chapter.
I wish him the absolute best. But I'm excited about what's happening in spring of 22 and the potential of what we got. So I didn't hear the podcast. I saw whatever clips on social media and the little blurb. And I'm in that part of Husker Nation that's already looking forward.
Yep, me too.
Yeah, I just wanted to address it one time and put it to bed.
I'm glad you did, BJ.
Glad you
it was a good way to address it.
Who
A good
cares
way to talk about it.
Yeah, who cares
I like
about
it.
Adrian Martinez?
My thing is this. Now, if they come with the coaches with any questions about Adrian, I'm going to simply say I'm going to tell about the players who are on my ball team.
Exactly.
Oh, like Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, I'm a straight. It's always gonna be the Pittsburgh.
That's beautiful.
That's how Mike Tomlin handles
That's
it.
beautiful.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say I'm going to talk, and I'm not going to address Adrian Martinez situation again. I'm going to address the guys in my locker room. Next question, please. And he put it back
because it's going to come up in spring ball. Somebody's going to ask.
Dang right, it's going to come up,
and he's just got to be like,
but why? Though?
Because
that's the media.
It's the media. Are we the media? No.
Yeah, we're the media now.
Did I know there's a lot of mixed answers to this question, but at the end of the day, you don't become a 4-time captain, brag about you being a 4-time captain, and then leave the place where you're a 4-time captain because you got competition. Because Caleb, it wouldn't matter to me who came in. If that was my job for the last 4 years, guess where I'm not going? Kansas State.
Yeah,
I'm staying right here, and I'm gonna right the ship.
VJ, though, but that shows too in this crazy transfer portal world, which I have no problem with the transfer portal whatsoever.
Me neither. I'm a fan.
Coach has been to the transfer portal since the beginning of coaching. It shows you the difference. So also too in just the mentality of athletes today versus then, and not all. I don't want to make a blanket statement, but we thrive. We loved competition, and at your top programs, they love competition. However, though, I think it was probably best for all parties involved that what happened.
To move forward.
Yep.
Totally agree with that.
Well,
it was a new page for us.
Yeah.
It was a new page for him. It was time. I think it was time.
Well, here's the deal. He contradicted himself, okay? Because on one end, you're mad because you broke your jaw allegedly, right? And believe me, the hit that I saw, he got blasted, but he came back into the game. Not only did he come back into the game, but he came back and was running for touchdown passes and getting smacked all over again.
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't just stop there. No, you went to Michigan, then you went to Wisconsin, and you went to all the other games that you played in, and then you quit. We cannot accept this microwave society of thinking that we want what we want and we want it now. The thing at Nebraska that made Nebraska great is because guys worked. Jay Gates worked to get to Nebraska. Vershawn Jackson was on scout team for 2 years to get to play. AD was on scout team. We worked. We never complained one bit about getting hit in the mouth by black shirts that was as nasty as they come.
Yep. Every day. Every day. We had a person that texted it. It says Eric Crouch did not like competition. What do you think about that?
Well,
EC's my guy, man. I wasn't there during that era, so I can't speak on
that. I ain't gonna say you like competition, but sometimes you have a coach that says, "Hey, we're not gonna compete.
Yeah,
we're not gonna have you compete against them." And I mean, we could bring up the Eric Crouch thing that happened 20 years ago, but who? Listen, Eric Crouch is a Heisman Trophy winner. We're going to leave him in that category.
Yeah.
Heisman Trophy winner.
Yeah.
So as far as and he's from Omaha. He's from Nebraska.
Yeah.
Don't want to hear all that.
No.
Don't try to whap the beehive to get us all off kilter on somebody that we shouldn't even be on.
Yeah.
We're talking about Adrian Martinez, not Eric Crouch.
And with that too, it's like we had, like Jay had said, we moved on. And
page has been turned.
It was turned. And he kind of opened that book up by coming and doing that podcast. Like on the way here, I told you, AD, I was like, why is he doing a podcast about Nebraska? He's at Kansas State. Have one of your new teammates on. Talk about what you dealt with transferring down there. But, Nebraska's done. So let it move on. Don't open that book. It's closed. At least until you are finished at K-State. Then if you want to come and talk about old Nebraska stories and stuff like that, that's great. But while you're still in it, I mean, I'm, sitting there going, Adrian, I'm like, wait until next year and
shut up.
Tell those stories.
Shut up.
K-State's never been relevant.
Ever.
Right? Except 98. Michael Bishop, 98. One time.
You said K-State's never been relevant?
Kavanaugh, or whatever his name was, they were all right in like 95.
K-State during the 90s.
90s was okay.
Yeah, I'm talking about now.
No.
I'm talking about now. So, like I said, the page has been turned, and he's back there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gotta let it go.
Well, wouldn't this be nice if in the bowl game we play Kansas State? Jay Gates, you were a ref.
BJ.
Wouldn't that be nice?
I would
for Nebraska to play K-State.
I'd just like Nebraska to make it to a bowl.
Hey, Gates, obviously you haven't been drinking the super sweet Big Red Kool-Aid. I'm drinking the super sweet Big Red Kool-Aid, and I'm saying right now we play K-State in the bowl game.
Which bowl would it be, though?
The I don't know.
Alamo Bowl.
Remember the Alamo.
San Antonio. Speaking of bowl games, Vijay, I love listening to your show. As I'm working throughout the day, if not on a Zoom call or something like that, I'm checking it out. I like, you mentioned this today too, the two quarterbacks, man, Chuba as well as Thompson. What type of element do you think they bring to Nebraska immediately? Of course, and then you got the kick returner. I mean, he changes our special teams just by his name.
Sure.
Because I think someone on your show mentioned, think about this. I want you both to think about this, Carter as well. And I know VJ, who was the last, threat as far as a punt and kick returner at Nebraska that you can remember?
D. Gross.
It was somebody before that. It's a couple guys before that.
Santino Panico?
What?
Just joking, guys. Come on. What? He averaged a yard a return.
No, Pearsonell.
D. Mornay.
Pearsonell.
Okay. He was a bad boy.
He was pretty good.
So it wasn't Santino Panico then?
No.
Okay.
He's pretty. Pearsonell was good. I think Amir Abdullah was pretty good at kickoff returns. We had a couple of guys in there in between our time and their time that was decent. But, bruh,
I'm ready for Trey Palmer.
Bruh.
Folks, we are still riffing with Raff and AD and special guest Jay Gates, 3-time national champion and the host of the Captain Show, Vershawn Jackson. Vershawn, you can be able to hang out with one more segment?
I might do one more second.
Let's do one more.
Wait, AD. As long as the people on the Sauter Heyman text line text in right now that they want me to stay. If not, I'm going. 464-5685, because we want to make sure that you guys are alive and well.
Absolutely. Love to hear from you. We're taking a break. We'll see you in a few minutes.
Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. It's soul food right here in Lincoln. Ribs, wings, catfish, coleslaw, cornbread, grits. I mean, I'd say it's food like your grandma used to make, but my grandma never made food like that. If you haven't already, you've got to give it a try. Check out their location across from South Point at 27th and Pine Lake, or find their food truck at events all over town, or visit them online at maryellens.com to see the full menu. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Let them fix you a plate.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by Security First Bank, a relationship you can count on.
Your first alert weather forecast tonight: cloudy, windy, and cold. Overnight lows 13. North winds gusting to 30. Becoming sunny by the afternoon Thursday, but a cold day. Highs 28, and north winds gusting to 35. I'm NTV Chief Forecaster Ken Fountain for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Need to send a message? Send it with cake. Congratulations. Here's a congratulations chocolate rum cake from Beatrice Bakery. Thank you. Say thank you with an amaretto cake. I'm sorry that I accidentally hit your mailbox with my car as I was backing out of the driveway and then continued right into your prized petunias. You say that with a lemon drop cake. Everybody knows that. Beatrice Bakery in downtown Beatrice, or online at beatricebakery.com. Here to help you say whatever it is you need to say. Welcome to our world of yum. Tune in to the Teammates Mentoring Hour each Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket. Hear stories from the program started by Tom and Nancy Osborne and how it's changed mentors and mentees' lives and how you can be involved. The Teammates Mentoring Hour, Wednesday nights from 6 to 7 o'clock on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Yesterday, your water heater worked just fine. Today, surprise! When you're out of hot water, just call the plumbers at Bryant. In most cases, you can get same-day water heater replacement. What you won't get is a costly surprise with the bill. At Bryant, the price you're quoted is the price you'll pay. No last-minute extras for piping or ventilation alterations. Need a new water heater? Just call Bryant, 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Based right here in Lincoln, Mosaic in Southeast Nebraska is part of a nonprofit, whole-person healthcare organization that serves people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Mosaic's mission is to relentlessly pursue opportunities to empower people. By providing truly personalized services, this empowerment ranges from helping someone communicate for the first time to helping another gain enough independence to secure a job. If you would like to learn more about Mosaic in Southeast Nebraska's services or to donate, please go to mosaicinfo.org/Southeast Nebraska.
Our Remington Homes has really expanded and taken off in the last 5 years.
Bob Benish of Aspen Builders, talking about their exciting new division, Remington Homes, which makes the home building process easier and more affordable.
The exciting thing about a Remington home is you get to choose your floor plan from predetermined floor plans. You can select your options. We give you a lot of choices. By selecting certain floor plans, they're just easier to build. And you couple that with our great lot selection in all different areas. People do not want to be married to their house payment. They want to get a nice house with nice finishes in a great area for an affordable price. And that's what Remington Homes are all about.
Home building is easier with a Remington home from Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at remingtonlincoln.com. remingtonlincoln.com.
Now back to Riffin with Raff and AD on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All righty, we're back here. Fastest 2 hours on a Wednesday night, Riffin with Raff and AD. We've got Jay Gates and the captain, Rashawn Jackson, with us here tonight in the building.
VJ, let me ask you this, man. Okay. Your show today was obviously, like I said, all your shows are good. You wanted to put it to bed, you wanted to put it to rest. You was talking about the two new quarterbacks that are in there. How much credibility do you think they bring us right away?
Casey Thompson brings us instant credibility because of what he did for Texas.
Yep.
It's not like his bill of work is something that he did a year ago. He did that last year.
Led the conference in touchdowns.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So he gives us instant credibility. Purdy, the rest of the guys who need to step up, because that entire quarterback room has got to play well.
Right.
Because everybody's one snap away from never playing again.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So the next guy has to step up. He can't be like, whoever's backing up Casey Thompson, if Casey's the starter, he can't be like, oh, I'm so sorry for myself, so I'm going to enter myself into the transfer portal. That's the problem. Nebraska football has always been deep at every position because guys have wanted to be here. We have not want to be like, yeah, I'm going to Iowa. No. Really? Goodbye.
No. Right.
And I think the situation for us from an offensive perspective deals in the offensive line.
It all starts in the trenches.
I did an offensive line study, and let me tell you something. We're young, we're green, we're wet behind the ears when it comes to offensive line play.
Yeah.
Period.
Yep.
You're not deep. You got 12 offensive linemen. I believe it's 12 that's on scholarship.
Yep.
That's an issue that you got to address, because if you don't get it done up front, guess what? It's not going to matter. Anything else is not going to matter.
Doesn't matter your skill positions if you can't protect them.
At all.
The
thing I like about Casey Thompson is he is a short, 10-yard pass, 10-yard dump. He is a king at taking the easy throws. You don't have to throw it down the field. Throw what the defense gives you.
Right. Right. I totally agree.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Yeah. So you want to play that one time? I know the old captain taking over the show.
No, we got a special.
He's the captain. That's what he does.
We got a special little clip for you too. Vishal showed this on the show. Aired this on the show today. Take a listen.
When you went down in the first quarter, were you immediately thinking about trying to get back in the game, or were you worried at that point that you were not going to be able to make it back?
I knew it was just a matter of time before I was back on the field.
That's against Michigan State. You saw him right there?
Yeah, that was against Michigan State.
Okay.
First quarter.
Did he say anything about my jaws broke? No, he said I was ready to get back in there.
You had a good thing earlier on. We were talking about this. Gates, I'll give you the example. Sean gave this earlier. To you folks that are listening too, as a boxer, okay, I'm boxing, and I'm getting my tail wore out, okay, getting beat. But I'm telling my corner, do not throw in the towel, all right? Is there a time to where sometimes you need to throw in the towel to protect your player, though?
Well, yes. We saw that when Bud fought. Who was his last opponent?
I forget that.
Whoever his last opponent was, that bum. Whoever that bum was that he got. His dad said, "Hey, I'm not about to let my son get beat up. He's hurt.
Yep.
Bud Crawford is the best finisher in the game.
He would have hurt him,
and he would have destroyed him.
He would have hurt him worse than he was.
So, in the sense, who's responsible? Who's responsible for the player? It's the coaches. But if the player signs and like Apollo Creed says, promise me you won't stop this fight, no matter what.
Little Rocky IV tonight.
No matter what, right? Who's the
and Rocky should have stopped that fight,
right? Apollo Creed died, right?
Yep.
Whoever his manager is, who had the towel in his hand, has to live with that guilt for the rest of his life that he could have stopped and had this man's life be preserved. But then the flip side of that coin is Apollo Creed said, promise me, after getting the snot kicked out of her, you won't stop this fight.
Some promises you break, though.
You better break them.
Some promises you break, especially when this man's life is on the line.
I don't think that the University of Nebraska, if he was in that imminent danger, would have allowed him to play.
No. And the thing about it is with Adrian, like I said, and we'll say this and we'll let it go after the segment, but I'll say this. Valiant guy put a valiant effort up every time. He always talked to the media, play through. I mean, think about this. He was not just hurt. He was injured.
Well,
injured.
You can't play injured. You can't play injured.
You wouldn't consider a broken jaw injured?
You can't play injured.
Because I know
I don't consider a broken jaw injured unless if it's wired. Yeah, and you can still play.
Means you literally can't play.
You cannot play.
So I get that. The guy played hurt.
He played hurt.
Always showed up, to those press conferences. even in the toughest times, man. A lot of guys would have skirted.
Well,
it.
even after he broke his jaw, he showed up at that Northwestern press
still
conference, just talking, just like me and you talking
Just
right
talking. So I commend the kid, but it's like, you know what? It's a new chapter. Go to K-State, succeed there, because I want him to succeed at K-State. I think everybody wants to succeed at K-State. You know, as a kid, do well down there. But you know what, Nebraska, we're moved on.
Yeah, leave us alone up here in Nebraska.
We've moved on.
Kitty cat.
Jay, let me ask you this, man. Speaking of just far as just those quarterbacks that are there now, the energy we have here now, are you, because the captain said, man, he's drinking the Kool-Aid, he's drinking the juice, he's ready. All right, look at him, surfing it up.
Super sweep.
Get it off.
Jay, what has to happen for you? Obviously, the obvious is win games. What do you need to see immediately? What do you think the most pressing need for Nebraska to get out of their own way is right now?
I think that the changes have been made, and we'll see, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everything on paper and everything that's happened during the offseason gives everyone reason to be excited. And now when spring ball starts, it's going to be a matter of, okay, it's got to happen on the field, right? I mean, whatever we've seen on the portal, whatever we've seen on the news, the kids that are here, the new kids that are here, kids that came back, there's a lot of reason to be excited, but now it's got to be on the field. Like if I come down to work a scrimmage or go watch practice as a former player, I got to see it on the field, right? And I got to see the changes that needed to be made. Some would argue that all of them were in good order and he handled it well. Okay, let's see it on the field. So I'm cautiously optimistic. Obviously, as a Husker fan, I'm loyal. So no matter what, I'm going to find the good in what I see. But I'm eager to see it, right? I'm ready to go see it.
Can you tell by spring ball practice how good they're going to be or if they're made strides to get better?
Here's what I could say, and yes,
not past spring games.
No,
I'm saying real spring game practices.
No, I'd say during practices, and since I've been down here working practices from Pelini's last year through the Riley era and into the Frost era, I can say I've seen the cupboards that were bare and watch it fill and get better and better and see the talent and see the improvement. So I'm excited. Yeah, I can see it. Like I could see the offensive line 4 years ago, and then you look at the offensive line now. Yeah, the depth isn't probably as deep as it would like to be, but it's 10 times better than what it was when Scott got here, right? Or different positions. So I'm excited. You guys know me. I tell you, I'm excited. Now, does it translate to wins? That's the issue.
Well,
the ball has to bounce a certain way. And
spring ball, though, we can tell if people are going to be tackling better. We can tell if people aren't jumping off sides.
Yeah.
We can tell. And that's a good question. Are they jumping off sides during practice? Or are they being disciplined during practice? Yeah. We can tell if guys are running routes 150 miles an hour. Are the offensive line holding their blocks? Or are they letting the defense just get in and just have their way with it?
It's the details.
Yeah,
it's the details.
It's the details.
You know, the details. We had Dave Remington on first show, I think. First or second show, Dave Remington came on. Second show. And Dave was mentioning just that discipline part. He goes, I can hardly remember a time we ever called for offsides. We just didn't make those type of mistakes. And the thing about Nebraska, it's like when Bill Walsh took over for the 49ers years ago, God rest his soul, 49ers were terrible. Yeah. He started with simple things like the locker room, making sure the locker room was picked up. And an assistant coach couldn't understand. He was like, why are you so adamant about this? He goes, because how you do some things is how you do everything. And if we can't pick up a locker room, how are we going to translate that to the habits in the game?
Yeah.
Folks, we're taking the next break right here before our 8 o'clock session that comes in. Again, we have Terrell Farley coming in. We had the captain that came and lit up the show.
Holla at your boy, dog. I got to go, man. But, hey, AD, Jay, Raff. What's your name? Carter. We got young Carter. We got young Carter in the building.
18. No, 19, Carter?
That's it.
18.
We got young Carter in the building.
I got shoes older than Carter, man.
Man, who you telling, man?
Literally.
I think this Jackson. No, it ain't. It's in 14. But I'm saying, I appreciate you guys. Keep up the good work, Riffin and Raff and AD. Man. Even Jay Gates. They got me. Even Jay Gates, Terrell Farley about to come on, but I appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
It is a blessing to be able to come to this type of situation at the ticket. Thanks to DP for allowing us to do this.
Absolutely.
Because without that, we wouldn't be able to get our voice heard. So
Absolutely.
we appreciate you guys. Appreciate y'all. I just wanted to stop by and give y'all some love, man.
Safe travels, brother. Appreciate it.
11 o'clock tomorrow.
Yesterday, your water heater worked just fine. Today, surprise! When you're out of hot water, just call the plumbers at Bryant. In most cases, you can get same-day water heater replacement. What you won't get is a costly surprise with the bill. At Bryant, the price you're quoted is the price you'll pay. No last-minute extras for piping or ventilation alterations. Need a new water heater? Just call Bryant, 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Based right here in Lincoln, Mosaic in Southeast Nebraska is part of a nonprofit, whole-person healthcare organization that serves people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Mosaic's mission is to relentlessly pursue opportunities to empower people. By providing truly personalized services, this empowerment ranges from helping someone communicate for the first time to helping another gain enough independence to secure a job. If you would like to learn more about Mosaic in Southeast Nebraska's services or to donate, please go to mosaicinfo.org/Southeast Nebraska.
Casey's General Store is giving you the chance at winning 2 free tickets to a Nebraska home basketball game this season. Stop by any Casey's location in Lincoln throughout basketball season, enter your name into the registration box, and you'll have a chance to win 2 tickets to an upcoming Nebraska basketball game. Every drawing will occur at least 24 hours before the game that has its selected winner. So make sure to get to any Casey's in Lincoln today for your chance at 2 free tickets for Nebraska men's basketball games.
Our Remington Homes has really expanded and taken off in the last 5 years.
Bob Benish of Aspen Builders talking about their exciting new division, Remington Homes, which makes the home building process easier and more affordable.
The exciting thing about a Remington home is you get to choose your floor plan from predetermined floor plans. You can select your options. We give you a lot of choices. By selecting certain floor plans, they're just easier to build. And you couple that with our great lot selection in all different areas. People do not want to be married to their house payment. They want to get a nice house with nice finishes in a great area for an affordable price. And that's what Remington Homes are all about.
Home building is easier with a Remington home from Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at remingtonlincoln.com. remingtonlincoln.com.
Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. It's soul food right here in Lincoln. Ribs, wings, catfish, coleslaw, cornbread, grits. I mean, I'd say it's food like your grandma used to make, but my grandma never made food like that. If you haven't already, you've got to give it a try. Check out their location across from South Point at 27th and Pine Lake, or find their food truck at events all over town, or visit them online at maryellens.com to see the full menu. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Let them fix you a plate.
Listening to this Allstate commercial about savings might be the hardest thing about getting those savings. Save for simply becoming an Allstate customer. Save more for adding DriveWise. And save even more for driving safely. Visit allstate.com or contact your local agent for a quote today. Allstate. Minimum effort, maximum reward.
Not available in every state. New customer savings based on early signing discount. Drive-bys is an optional feature. Savings vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
You knew the risks when you decided to drive drunk. There could be a crash. People could get hurt or killed. But that didn't stop you, did it? You knew you could get arrested. You could incur huge legal expenses, and you could possibly even lose your job. You were well aware of the consequences of driving drunk. But one thing's for sure. You were wrong when you said it was no big deal. Drive sober or get pulled over. This message brought to you by NHTSA.
Welcome to Riffin with Raff and AD, coming to you live from the Coppell Chevrolet GMC studios. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Now here's former Huskers, Chris Raff and Aaron Davis.
All right, we're back again on this Wednesday night, riffing with Raff and AD, and we have got, for my money, the most explosive, big play black shirt in the history of Nebraska football. Number 43, Terrell Farley with us tonight. What's up, brother?
What's up, big dog? How you doing,
Good
man?
to see you.
Oh man, how you doing, AD?
See, Farley,
the man.
my man. Bro, we brought Sleepy in today too. Gates, man.
Yeah,
special
I
guest.
didn't have a
Gates.
chance to play with Gates, but we all brothers in our Husker world, man.
That's right.
We take care of one another, and we just feed off that.
Speaking of feed off, Aaron, I'm bringing it back to the Super Bowl. Aaron Donald had one of those Terrell Farley type games where he was just like, they couldn't account for him. I mean, literally, Joe Burrow would look back and it was like, he didn't even say one Mississippi. It was what? Done.
Yeah, that guy's a beast, man. And we need players like that on our defensive line that just want to straight kill you and come at you with every play, every down. That mentality,
Relentless.
We need that.
We've definitely been missing it in the past number of years in Nebraska. Just a dominant player. However, I will say this on our defense. Our defense, man, played well enough every game to win those games, man. Because in a game that sticks out the most to me is Michigan State. That running back was average over 100-something yards a game. And we held him, 61 yards?
Yeah, I think that was. We played great defense most of the time. I think sometimes my main concern for me was, your third down tendencies, try to get out the field. And 3rd and 17, you give them 3rd and 18, 3rd and 23, you give them 24. My big deal is, bend but don't break. And on 3rd down, you got to get out the field, man.
Yeah.
You got to get out the field and get your rest and get your offense to going and get your guys in the group and come back and play more defense.
Absolutely. Somebody here said, I think this was Andrew that sent the text in. It says, I know plenty of guys that did good but made more mistakes and hurt the team more than they help. I agree with you. And Adrian did, like I said, we're putting that to rest, but Adrian did a lot for the team. We're proud of the guy. Best of luck to him at K-State. Terrell, right now, speaking of changing schools, going back to high school, bro, I was looking at some of your stats.
Insane.
Man, okay, wait a minute. Why are you in Des Moines, all them guys in the South, man, just running all the time? Y'all was state champs, right? Track, 4x1.
Track guy.
And you were
4x1. I'm a 400 guy. I'm a 400-mile relay.
I seen that 48 flat, 48-1 or 48-2, something like that.
I really like running track, but I could say that now, but track was more fun to me than football because just being able to run that last event for the mile relay, and that one lap is a man's race, and that's what I was always taught, just to run it to the end.
Man, I hated the 400. You ever run a 400?
I didn't run track, but my son runs track now, and he runs a 400.
Not doing it, bro.
Well, I hate the 100 guys and the 220 guys. Them real fast guys. When we was in college, we used to do them stations in the summer. Where we run up under the hurdles and have a guy come behind you, and that guy catch you. You have to run again. Just imagine me having Amon Green running behind me, and me thinking I was fast, and he was coming.
Well, you figure Amon Green, there was a lot of speed on that team too.
Yeah,
there was a lot of speed.
Defense
on that team.
and offensive wise.
Yeah,
there
was a lot of speed on that.
And
one.
with us switching from putting Jay Foreman in the middle and putting Jamel Williams on the outside, that was more speed for us. That was just you couldn't run either side though.
Which is crazy to think that you got Foreman anchored in the middle, and then you got these two just chasing you like crazy, throwing an interior with Peters and Grant. It was a nightmare.
It was by far the best team I ever played on defensive wise, offensive wise also, but just to have Christian and Jason and Grant and Thomas just on that D line, I think they can handle the whole offensive line by themselves. And we never ran, we ran a basic scheme, and it was basically it was basically just more for the wheel linebacker to just be open and make tackles like that.
Just to remind everybody, this is crazy because I was looking at this. 3rd team All Big 12, AP coaches 1996, member of the 1995 National Championship, 2nd team All America, which was crazy, should have been first team. First team All Big 8, AP 1995, Big 8 Defensive Newcomer of the Year, AP coaches 95. 2nd team All Big 8 coaches 95, Nebraska Defensive Player of the Year versus Pacific, Missouri, and Colorado 1995. And Terrell, you're not a big guy when it comes to accolades like that. Some of the stuff you probably didn't know.
It's after the season, most likely. I learned about the 2nd team All American. I was kind of happy with it for me starting 6 games. you know, and just to win the national title that year made it even better. You know, just the icing on the cake. So I'm not big on awards. I'm just big on team ball and team spirit.
We over me.
Yes, it.
We over me.
There's no I in it, you know.
We got to ask you too, what is your secret in blocking punts?
Mm.
I mean, these statistics are nuts. Your final 2 years of high school, you blocked 27 punts. You go to Independence College, blocked 15 punts.
That's crazy.
Is there, do you just watch the ball and just get off faster than the guy in front of you, or is there some trick that you had that just made you
watch the ball and a great takeoff and a great angle, you know, 1-2 jump, and always have your hands crossed. You know, even when I went to Green Bay, I did, you know, I was trying to block kicks every practice just to stay in shape, just to keep my form nice for it. But yeah, my brother started that back in like 92, and when he left high school, I took over, and you know, I kind of added my little twist and turn in it, and I kind of perfected it. But you know, it's very easy and simple. You know, we just need to get more kids involved in special team by blocking instead of trying to, you know, run it back every time.
Mm-hmm. Is it? And you bring up a good point. So is it timing or technique or both?
Both. I think it's both. So some may call it luck, but you know, I think timing.
Now 15 times, bro.
I think it's more with the timing and the great start. You know, that's the two main factors in blocking a kick. You know, as long as you can nudge that guy on the outside and he don't touch you or anything, you should have a straight shot.
Terrell, we go back to high school. You're getting recruited by a number of schools. I was looking up Alabama, Kentucky, Florida. Why did you choose Nebraska? Because I know you went to Independence. Well, I'm gonna get to the JUCO in a second. But what one of those schools? If you hadn't come to Nebraska, what other school was really on your radar?
Florida.
I
think I would have played against y'all. So
good Lord.
Oh man. If they had a portal, I probably would have transferred after that game. So yeah, I see it as, you know, Florida. Then, you know, a funny thing about this man is that nobody really knows that I actually signed with Arkansas State out of high school.
Really?
I signed there as a Prop 48. Probably 2 months before I had to go, I got talked out of it by some junior college coaches, and I think that was the best decision I ever made in my life right there.
Absolutely.
So
Arkansas State, is that Scottie Pippen played out?
Jonesboro, Arkansas. I think we play them a couple of times.
Arkansas State.
Yeah.
Terrell, you leave. You have your prop year, so you go to Independence. Okay. Now you're from Georgia.
Yeah.
You roll up into Independence Community College in Kansas.
Junior college didn't have a portal, so
Bruh, how cultural shock were you going? Because how big is Independence? Were they at?
Probably 1,000, probably
5,000 people.
You know, right by Coffeeville. I tell you what, man, it was a real culture shock. My parents took me there, and they stayed an extra 2 days. And I think after the first night, I stayed in my door. I was like, all right, let's hit the road back to Georgia. I don't think I'll be able to do this. But you know, I sucked it up. And, you know, being from from Georgia and just to be in that type of environment for 2 years, I think it prepped me for Nebraska. You know, I think it got me ready for anything that I could deal with adversities. I think that right there was one of the main starts in my life.
Well, because think about it, wasn't a lot of brothers running around Independence.
No, there was a lot of cop tipping and, you know, you know, guys.
And the words were coming to America. He ain't lying.
Yeah. So, you know, guy told me we was going cow tipping one day. I said, the cow's still up. He said, oh, he's asleep. Just go knock the mess out of him.
So you actually did that?
No, I didn't. He did.
Okay.
I'm smarter than that.
So Independence, man, it's a different environment. What are the schools besides Nebraska recruiting you out of Independence?
Actually, my coach called me to the office one day. He was like, where you want to go? I said, whoever wants me. He said, well, you probably got 100 scholarships. So, and Nebraska probably was the only school that, you know, I had Cincinnati and a couple of schools, but when it really got to closer for me to sign it, Nebraska really turned it on, and his A&M came in at the last moment.
Texas A&M?
Yeah, Clemson came back, and a lot of schools came back, but for me being here for 2 years up in the Midwest watching, Nebraska from the regional football, that, I kind of sat back one day and said, I want to try to play with the big boys, and they was number one at the time. So that's what I wanted to do.
Who recruited you?
Turner Gill, great recruiter.
TG.
Yeah.
Terrell.
Yeah.
Terrell Farley.
Yeah.
It was Coach Gill that started AD, the name.
Yeah.
No one called me AD in high school.
Coach Gill was a nice
Coach
person.
Gill and Clinton Childs are the ones that started that, but mostly Turner Gill. AD is what he would always say, man. But Turner Gill, salt of the earth guy, man.
Yeah,
Salt of the
great
earth
coach,
guy.
great recruiter.
Absolutely.
Great
Absolutely.
all-around person.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, Terrell, you get up here to Nebraska. I must ask, what is the game or moment that sticks out to you the most? Like, if you still dream about Nebraska football, is there a play or is there something to you that you're just like, wow, I can't believe I did that?
Man, you trying to be in reference to the Florida game. Probably like the third play of the game, I tipped the ball up, and as you know, I scored a lot of touchdowns during my career, but this probably was one of the biggest ones I wanted. But it didn't come down right. I guess I took my eye off the ball. I was looking for a way to run, and I just dropped the ball. Just something I never do. So, but, it's a lot of them, man. But that right there, I told myself, man, I could be 80 years old and still think about that play.
And then we've got, a referee now in our presence, Jay Gates. You might have had a safety there later in that game.
Oh, yeah.
Jay, do you think that was a safety?
What? I don't even know what play you're talking about. Yeah, what? Freshman. What? Refresh my memory.
It was 95. It was 95.
I thought about 1995. I don't even know what game.
Or Terrell, can you express what you said to that referee when they said it was not a safety?
I mean, I can't say it on the air. I told him I thought that was an unfair call, which in my vocabulary probably not the correct thing, but I was kind of heated. I was disappointed in the call, and I swear his body was in the end zone for him to say you can just pull the ball and drop it on the half-inch line. But we blitzed the next play, and we got a safety from my other linebacker. I'm so happy for Jamel. It's just I'm happy for everybody on our defense. It doesn't matter who get a big play, as long as we get the W.
Well, you guys are so dominant, man. And the thing about that Florida game, no one gave Nebraska a chance. They thought it was going to be a track meet. Just Nebraska just getting blown out. That game turned. And think about that first game was, somewhat tight for like the first quarter. Basically, the first quarter.
Yeah, about the end of the first quarter, it started getting a little. About the beginning of the middle of the second, we knew we was running.
Figured them out.
We kind of figured them out, and it was just. And I think Coach McBride just let the dogs out because we blitzed every which way we could that night.
It was speed coming from all over the place in that game. Can't you remember that game? Man?
Oh, yeah. I remember watching that game over at Tim and Terry's.
Yeah, we were watching it.
We were watching it together, yeah.
In fact, man, it was something because right before that game, I was talking to Tyrone on the time, and they said, look, we're about to embarrass these dudes. This before the game. This was like on the way to the stadium. You know what I'm saying? Before you guys left the hotel, we're about to embarrass these dudes. And that's exactly what took place. Terrell, Coach McBride. Gates, you also it was your coach too in '97. Think about this. What do you think about Coach? Why did he get so much out of you guys? Because both of you guys are defensive guys. Why did he get how did he able to get so much out of you guys? So
it goes either way. Either you're gonna get cussed out or you're gonna do it right. And sometimes Coach McBride can give you that smile. It's just that smile. Like, you better get in there and do it or else. And Coach McBride had a great game plan. He was very respected, and he just that's how nobody ever tried him. I guess we just knew what to do. After you get cussed out one time by him, you never want to go through that again. So it's all about. I got to do this perfect. I got to make sure Coach McBride sees me get in here and kick some tail. So, but basically that's just the way he wanted us to play. All lights out.
Gates, what about you, man? What was it about him?
You know, I think, and obviously I was not Terrell Farley or any of those guys, right? So I was on the scout team, and I was one of the lower level guys. So Coach McBride told me, you're not going to play until the fourth quarter, right? I mean, so I knew that going in, right? He was always honest.
Yeah.
He would tell you, Terrell, I need you, right?
Yeah.
Gates, we'll see you in the fourth quarter when the score is 62-0, right? So and we had leaders on the field. I think that was such a big deal. Everyone who played, they said, play like a black shirt. It didn't matter where I was getting in late in the game when it was a blowout, but we played like black shirts. I remember one time Grant saying, play like you're the black shirt, because we went in, I forget which game it was, but it was a blowout. We were up. And when we went in as the third team defense, we played like black shirts. And it was because of Coach McBride and the leaders on the field, Grant, JP, and those guys, telling us that's what we needed to do. And so I think that attitude went from all the way from the top all the way to the scout team. And what we went through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, by the time we got to Saturday, I think you would agree, Saturday was easier than anything else. You've been going against the number one country, number one team in the country Monday through Thursday. Saturday was a piece of cake.
Oh, yeah.
Because you think about on what's it, Wednesdays, it was live one versus ones?
Yeah, on Wednesdays.
On Wednesdays.
We do. Well, for us, we could never finish scrimmaging because the fights, who was the big bad offense against the big bad back shirts, and it never 4 plays and we was done.
Yeah.
So that's just how it went.
You know what? There's something to be said though too, in that you didn't want to disappoint your teammates and those who came before you, and those who, guys like us, got later in the game. You're just like, look, this league was built up.
Yeah,
we ain't letting this thing slip away.
Exactly.
So you played with a sense of pride every time you took that field. Why was the black shirt so important though? When you got that black shirt, and you both know the history of the black shirts, why was that so important for the standard? I'm asking both of you that. What was that standard, and what needs to happen to get that standard back again? Because the defense that we were talking about, Rashawn, the captain, earlier, defense played, in my opinion, played a heck of a season. Defense played good. They had their moments. They played good. And again, I'll go to that Michigan State game. That dude was averaging 100 and something yards a game. That back. We held him to 61, 62 yards. What is the mystique or the just the pride that you guys take in being black shirts? What was that?
I think just the jersey wise, setting us out from everybody else. There's no other team in the country probably get their players other kind of jerseys for defense, and to have that black shirt it meant a lot. I mean, just like Coach said, you can get it in one day, you can get it taken from you the next day. So it's really, you got to go out there and maintain it and keep that black shirt.
That was no joke, because you see grown men cry when they get them.
Yeah.
And I remember '97, we got back from a game on the road, and there was a couple guys that lost them. They came out in gold shirts on Tuesday, and you see grown men cry. Yeah, it's hard.
Oh,
and
yeah.
for guys like me who didn't get them until the bowl game, and then even then you kind of had that moment. It's your own moment, right? Because you kind of like, oh, finally they just gave me one, right?
and I think one thing about it, and it's the pride to take that picture at the end of the year.
Yeah.
At the bowl game, and I cherish that picture. I still got of me and my black shirt brothers at the beach, and all of or at poolside. We took that as with adding 8-9 more guys to it. Really our second unit backups, they was more of a black shirts than some of the first guys. I didn't. I have got my black shirt tucking, and I know how it feels to come back with a vengeance, and I wanted it back that bad. But it was a mistake I made, but I had to come back and earn that black shirt back. So it wasn't given back to me; it was earned.
It was
back.
to earn it.
Yeah,
had to earn it.
And then mine, same thing. Mine was an honor. I had that. That's the picture I have framed as all of us in our black shirts on the beach. That's important to me. So I had that, and having grown up in Nebraska, to actually get one of those, it doesn't matter how you get it. Once you get it, you're like, wow,
this is it.
Yeah, this is the real deal.
When you mention when you think about it, when you got here, obviously you dominated in Independence. I mean, the stats that you had there, I'll just look at some of those up. It's just ridiculous, man. Let me see where I got it. Yeah. Independent College linebacker of the year, Jayhawk League linebacker of the year, registered 116 tackles, 12 sacks, 15 block 15 block kicks, 9 punts, and 6 field goals. Man, you was out there blocking punts and field goals.
And I ran kickoff returns back. I'm just saying. I mean, I ran kickoff return back in high school. Never played a down of offense that much, except Pop Warner when I was a quarterback. But I wanted to run kickoff return back in high school, and I asked my coach. And the first game, I ran one back like 60 yards on the first kick. I didn't run it back all the way, but he kept putting me in there, and eventually I did end up running like 2 back my senior year in high school.
Man, we're gonna talk
in junior
about
college.
that.
Then I ran them back also.
Raff, that's just crazy talent, man. Folks, we are here with all-world former Nebraska linebacker Terrell Farley, 19 national championship, 1995, just a stellar career. We're going to get back and talk more about the black shirts, but also the mindset of what it take and what it takes to be a black shirt and to be successful. This is Riffin with Raff and AD. We'll be right back.
Our Remington Homes has really expanded and taken off in the last 5 years.
Bob Benish of Aspen Builders talking about their exciting new division, Remington Homes, which makes the home building process easier and more affordable.
The exciting thing about a Remington home is you get to choose your floor plan from predetermined floor plans. You can select your options. We give you a lot of choices. By selecting certain floor plans, they're just easier to build. And you couple that with our great lot selection in all different areas. People do not want to be married to their house payment. They want to get a nice house with nice finishes in a great area for an affordable price. And that's what Remington Homes are all about.
Home building is easier with a Remington home from Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at remingtonlincoln.com. remingtonlincoln.com.
Turn off the TV and power down the video games. It's time for homework. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the NSCA. We want every child to learn and be successful. As a teacher, mom, and grandmother, I know children need a quiet place to do homework. Designate an area in your home away from the TV and background noise. Good study habits start with a quiet learning environment at home.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association in this station.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Mike Shaver here for Trek CBD. There's a lot of CBD shops opening up in Lincoln, but Trek CBD focuses on quality above all else. Their products are from local CBD company Nico Farms and are third-party laboratory tested. They have products that can help with stress, anxiety, pain, relief, and more, and have a wide selection of Delta 8, including Serene 8. Trek CBD is locally owned and operated. Go visit Scott or Shannon at their 84th and Highway 2 location, or go online to Trek CBD with free delivery. Trek CBD. CBD done right.
Hi, this is Pastor Tom. Did you know there's a place kids can seek out help when they're away from home and something goes wrong? They find themselves in a difficult spot or even a dangerous situation. Maybe another child is bullying them or a stranger is following them. Perhaps on a date and things just go bad. In Lincoln, here's where they can find help. It's called Safe Place. Safe Place is a national program for children taking place in thousands of cities across the United States. The People City Mission is sponsoring this program in our community and has set up a number of businesses, fire stations, schools, and nonprofits around the city to become safe locations where kids can seek out help. They just need to look for the big yellow sign that says Safe Place on it. Then go inside and ask for help. We will be quickly connected to them and ensure they make it back home or to whatever resources are needed. If you'd like to find out more about Safe Place and ways in which you can get involved, just go to pcmlincoln.org. Remember, when we all do a little, we change a lot.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? By their clothes, their age, the way they speak? Would you notice a 16-year-old boy who got his first job,
not for extra spending money, but to help feed his little sisters?
or a mother who's in between jobs and sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can have dinner? Or a 14-year-old girl who signs up to every after-school activity, not to make friends, but just to get something to eat? Or a retiree who fell ill and had to choose
between getting medicine or groceries.
I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. People you pass by every day but never knew were hungry. I am hungered in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too, and that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. But our part-time service in the Army National Guard means we get to be more. When our communities are in need, we get the chance to stand up and do something about it. We get to serve in our own region and help the people we call neighbors. Whether they are in the mountains of New Mexico, the plains of Nebraska and Kansas, the ranches of Oklahoma and Texas, the farmlands of Missouri and Arkansas, or the bayous of Louisiana, we are here for our hometowns. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Nebraska Army National Guard. Aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association at this station.
Now back to Riffin with Raff and AD on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back here on the quickest 2 hours of the week, riffing with Raff and AD. We're here with Jay Gates and Terrell Farley. Terrell, we are back. So, question I have for you now is, what makes a black shirt?
Commitment, playing with all 11 guys, willing to teach others. If you make a mistake, coach always say, make it going 100%, 100, and always run to the ball. Coach McBride emphasizes that bad. A black shirt, for me, a black shirt is, we get down and dirty. That's what a black shirt is to me. A black shirt has no ifs, ands, or buts. That's how we play. We want to knock your head off. We want to get a sack. We want to get an interception. We want to run touchdowns too. We want to do the same thing the offense does, but just give us our props. At the end of the day, we just want to be known as the black shirts, and I think that's what we need to get back to now.
Who you said get back to it now. What are some things that you saw that kept you inspired though about this year's team, this overall team, just like
the whole team effort? I think the team effort was great. I don't know what position they was put in to, like on third down. I don't know what position the players was put in or what call was called, but I think they played great. Most of the season they did. I know we're losing a lot of guys, but this is the time for the younger guys to step in. This is the time for the big recruits to get to fill the holes, to fill the voids. We need somebody to step in right away. You got to learn on the run, and that's what we got to get these guys to put in their head these days. With everything that's going on in college football, everything's gonna go by so fast. And I think these guys need to realize, just don't leave your school if you ain't happy. If we could have did that, AD, I still wouldn't have left Nebraska if I was unhappy.
No.
What do you think about the transfer portal? You mentioned it earlier. What do you think about, in general, basically, my opinion, it's free agency now at the college level. What do you think about it, Trev? Especially for guys that like you that were starters, big name guys, some of them now who you see have a good season and then hit the portal.
You know, my dad always taught me never, once I start something, don't quit. So,
Mm-hmm.
I did try it in high school. I quit the track team for a day, and he took me back out there.
He said for a day.
Yeah. So,
he took a break.
I like to see kids, just keep trying, don't give up. And with the transfer portal, it gives kids a lot. You can give up in one day if you don't like it there. It's too many opportunities, not opportunities, but it's just the way I figure it's a way of a cop out to me.
Yeah.
And I don't like the rules, just like I don't like the paying the players rules. It's the way football has grown.
Do you guys think about this? I'm glad you brought up that question, Gates. NIL, transfer portal, kids not staying around. And Carter, you're in this demographic because you're a young guy, 18 years old. Man, I can't believe Carter's only 18 years old, man. Literally. Young cat. I hear this a lot from parents, from just people in general. Oh, this generation is soft. They're a trophy generation. Here's my rebuttal to that, though. Who's passing out the trophies? The adults.
Yeah.
So the very behavior we don't like, we cultivate and foster it because we allow that. Because think about this, and my boys are older. Okay, my daughter and I is 18. Boys are, 23, 21. But I started seeing it about 10, 15 years ago when you started seeing a lot of these select teams come around. Okay, the select leagues got big. Then you got these big facilities where they train athletes. All those things are good. But if the kid doesn't make it on this team or he's not playing enough, mom and dad says, well, I'm going to put him on this team, that team. It's just so this transfer portal is nothing new. We've been seeing this go on in youth sports in the past 15 years. And then we wonder why 8th place teams get trophies and the adults provide them. So we can't get mad at the behavior that we have somewhat played a part in cultivating and creating. Now, I'm not saying all parents, and I'm not saying all select teams. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying it's become more it's become a lot more popular to where if the kid's not successful here, we're going to put them on this team or that team. That's why I don't understand. I give you a lot of credit for reffing games when you first started out reffing those games, because I know you heard just an earful from some of these parents.
Mm-hmm.
Even coaching some of these kids, I couldn't do it. I mean, some of these teams, I don't know, I just couldn't do it because sometimes the parents have unreal expectations for their kid. They live vicariously through their kid. Look, Jimmy's probably done at about freshman year in high school. All right. Or senior. Not all of them, because you look at the numbers and the stats of those who play college ball in any sport afterwards, it's very low. Now, I'm not saying you don't teach them work ethic and things like that, but these kids, when they're transferring out, I'm not surprised because they've been doing it since they were 10 years old, playing Little League basketball and football and soccer and baseball. So it's not surprising to me that they do it. And I'll say this. Coach has been doing it since the beginning of time. You think about this, man. Lincoln Riley. That man was coach in a game. Oklahoma State, Oklahoma game. The ref, the media asked him, reporters, are you transferring? Are you going to LSU? He goes, I'm absolutely false. I'm not going to LSU. 6 hours later, he's on an airplane heading to USC. So, and he was in somebody's living room a couple weeks prior to that, talking to someone that could be your son, my son, your son, about how great that Oklahoma's going to be. You look at your boy at Brian Kelly, Notre Dame. He had no commitment. So although the portal causes issues, I think we can't blame the athletes all that much when we've seen coaches been doing it for so long. That's my rant. What do you guys think?
I don't have a problem with the portal, to be perfectly honest with you. I think what it is the same thing we see with kids even before the portals. You got to get good advice, right? You look at some of the statistics. There's a lot of kids entering the portal. Point. The Terrell Farleys of the world ain't going to have a problem going from, I'm leaving Nebraska and now I'm going somewhere. But there's a lot of kids that go into the portal and don't get picked up, right? And I don't know what the rules are, but I don't know the rules.
They don't have to honor that. Once they leave,
Yeah.
they can fill that scholarship up. And that kid's not guaranteed to be back on that team again. You know, so once you make, well, go ahead.
Yeah. So I guess that's all I'm saying is I don't have a problem with it, especially if you got a coach that left or there's a change in the program or for whatever reason you feel like you want to go. I'm okay with it. I think the schools need to treat it just like free agency is in the NFL. If I'm Coach Frost or a head coach, I need someone watching that portal at all times. I need to know who's in it, why they're in it. You know, did Terrell Farley get in the portal because he got into it with his girlfriend, or did he get into it because, you know, he needs to leave, right? Mm-hmm. I want to know the backstory behind the backstory, and does he fit my program? And as soon as he hits it, if he hits my program, if he's a guy that I previously recruited and things went south at Missouri and all of a sudden I can get him, I need my assistant coach to come in and say, Terrell Farley's in the portal. Let's get him here. He can he can help us win ball games. So I like the portal, to be honest with you.
I wish, I just don't know too much about the portal. I don't know how many transfers you get, or you get one for the whole 4 years you're in college. But, I think that should be a rule. Just pick one school and just be done with it. Me, myself, I'm not really in favor of it because, personally, I came from fifth on the depth chart. And, I worked my way up and it wasn't nobody in my head to baby me about it. Oh, we can go here, we can just stop. No, my mentality was to keep battling until I get to number one.
Right.
And that's what these kids need to install in their minds. If you're gonna come out here and play for Nebraska, come out here and earn it. And that's with every position. Quarterback, running backs, even the transfers who's coming in. I think everybody should just give it that fair shot. I know it's a lot. I know it's kind of a lot saying, but it's not realistic gonna happen. But if you ever just keep getting that shot. If you get a shot, just take it.
Right.
You got to just keep battling every day because you never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
What do you think, Raff?
I was just gonna say with the transfer portal that. What it is now is you got one free one. So you can transfer. You don't have to sit out a year. After that, you'd have to sit out a year if you transfer your second time. With that, now I've completely forgot my train of thought there.
We're going with the NIL, the money getting paid?
No, I was still at the transfer portal. Oh, I know what I was going to say. Scholarships, technically, when you're offered a scholarship at a university, it's actually their 1 year binding contracts. So what I'm afraid that what could also happen in college football too, with all the transfer portal stuff going on, there might be some schools that start, pulling scholarships after a year, after 2 years and stuff like that. If it gets, the direction that college football is going, and it kind of scares me because I think it really could get to a very.
And you're hurting that high school kid,
terribly.
You're getting so many transfers in. Are you going to honor that kid that's been committed to you for 2 years?
Right.
Are you? Or are you going to go for this 10-1 guy who has 50 catches in 2 seasons and you need experience? Or are you going to take this high school kid? See, either way it goes, somebody's going to lose out.
Yeah.
This kid who's been waiting on this scholarship for 2 years might lose out. That's one thing I think about the portal is a big no, because of stuff like that. I would like to honor the younger kids, and make them earn their scholarship that they have to come here and transfer, just like the old days.
Yeah, especially if that young kid has been there busting his tail off or busting her tail off, and they've shown, and they have the ability, and they have the ability to contribute and to play right away. I think as it relates to the NIL, the money aspect of it, just like the NFL has a salary cap, I think college football is going to have to put a salary cap on there, man.
Especially for, I think they do. With kids making $1 million, I think, boy, we need to go back to 95 and do this. Man, I need some back pay or something.
They call it retroactive. It goes back retroactive.
What's the kid from Alabama? He didn't even touch the field. He probably had $2-3 million.
He hadn't even played yet. Because what's that kid's name, Raff?
Well, you got Quinn Ewers down at Texas.
Quinn Ewers
made 1.4, and he actually did not even go to Ohio State. He ended up going to Texas. So he made 1.4 million at Ohio State off their fans, boosters, and all that, and then decided he wasn't going to go there after all. Went to Texas, so he'll probably make another 1.52 million this year.
And
Texas.
didn't even play high school his senior year in high school.
Yeah, sat out so he could take the NIL money.
I think when we start, I'm not even a fan of early enrollees. Me personally.
Now, what can you tell a kid that makes 1.4?
Exactly. He made more than his coach.
And if a coach says something to him, how would you? Oh, I make 1.4, coach. I make more than you. What
It makes more because, to my knowledge, there's no position coach making 1.4. Well, I guess Venables was making what when he wasn't the head coach at Oklahoma. He was when he was at Clemson. How much was Venables making?
They're about $2 million.
About $2 million.
But
that was high. I mean, he's one of the highest paid.
Coach Pelini was making $2 million at LSU.
At LSU.
Yep.
but to your point, most of those coaches they're usually coordinators though to make that kind of money. Receivers coach ain't making $1.4 million. DB's coach ain't making $1.4 million. So, and I think here's the thing: every kid's different. Some kids, if I'm making 1.4, I'm making 1.4, so why try anymore? For some kids, yeah, I'm making this 1.4, but I still got to produce in order to keep this. What type of kid are you going to get? You don't know.
So this is what I'm saying. Like I think we talked about this on another topic, but you know, if a kid's gonna make 1.4 million, make him pay for his school and let that scholarship go to another.
That's a good point.
You know, because you know, what about the kids who's not making that much, or not even making a dime off this?
Raff had a good point about this when we first talking to NIL. We got to take a quick break to pay some bills. We'll be right back with our last segment with former Husker National Championship Terrell Farley, 1997 championship Jay Gates. We'll see you in a few.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Can I touch this? Where does sand come from? Is this tree good for climbing? What happens if I mix these two things together? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Storing your guns securely is the best way to prevent family fire, including unintentional shootings. For more information on safe gun storage and ways to keep your family safe, visit endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org.
What do we keep in the attic? What's this thing called? Can I ride my bike backwards?
Like I said, kids are curious. It's up to us to keep them safe. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
The Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council present the story of Tom and Levi.
Tom is the smartest man I know. He's been a professor at 2 major universities, been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, he told me that he was having problems in his classes. I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. And he was telling them that he was doing it as a favor to them. But I think in reality, he just wanted to get out of there. I was really starting to worry because I saw something was wrong.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me, and my love for him was just immense.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Today on Hey Culligan, why does your team stink? Here's Coach Waters.
Hey Culligan, yeah, my team stinks.
Ooh, harsh.
No, I mean they stink. They won't hit the showers because it makes their skin all dry and itchy.
Coach, it sounds like your guys have been hit hard by hard water.
You kidding me? Hard water?
Yep, so let's call an audible in the form of one Culligan Smart High Efficiency Water Softener to get the smooth back in their skin and the stink out of your team.
Okay, Culligan, I'm putting you in.
Coach, we're already on the way. Go to CulliganLincoln.com and schedule your free water test today.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Winter is upon us. Is your home prepared? If your furnace isn't keeping up or you've thought about replacing it, John Henry's has a new year, new unit special. When you purchase a select heating and cooling system from John Henry's, we will give you the furnace for free. There are also equipment and LES rebates up to an additional $850. This offer expires February 28th, so don't miss out. Find out more at jhlincoln.com or give John Henry's a call or text today.
435-5555. Every time the back door closes, it squeaks and reminds me of how I used to go out back for a cigarette 2-3 times a day when I was stressed, when I was hungry, when I was bored. But then I think of how the stale taste lingered in my mouth, and I reach into my purse and pop a stick of gum. And the craving is gone.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Based right here in Lincoln, Mosaic in Southeast Nebraska is part of a nonprofit, whole-person healthcare organization that serves people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Mosaic's mission is to relentlessly pursue opportunities to empower people. By providing truly personalized services, this empowerment ranges from helping someone communicate for the first time to helping another gain enough independence to secure a job. If you would like to learn more about Mosaic in Southeast Nebraska's services or to donate, please go to mosaicinfo.org/Southeast Nebraska.
Now back to Riffin with Raff and AD on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back here again this Wednesday night. Almost ready to wrap up another show, AD. This 2 hours flies by so fast. It's the quickest 2 hours of the week for me.
Terrell and Jay, it does. I mean, real quick. Who was that playing right there?
Earth, Wind, and Fire?
Bam!
You know, I
Night at the museum.
My head, I got too many headshots. I can't remember, but I can remember the lyrics.
Oh, yeah. So, September by Earth, Wind, and Fire. You
Yeah.
can't forget that one, man. You
Yeah.
can't forget that. I always think of Night at the Museum, though, when that song comes on, man, because it was in that movie. Night
Oh,
at the
yeah.
Museum. Remember that part?
Yeah.
I have other memories.
Yeah. Back to the NIL.
Well, we actually going back to the NIL, I was thinking about this over the break too. There's a reason why Adrian Martinez is putting a podcast still out, primarily based on Nebraska, because there's still more money in Nebraska than there is down in Manhattan right now.
Oh, yeah.
So he still wants a little bit of that Nebraska money. And
Well, I think too with these, you know, my thing is with this, the NIL. Okay, you think about this, y'all. Taxes standpoint.
Do they pay taxes on it? How does it work? I don't even.
Yeah, they've got
it. Income.
They've got to file taxes on it. Yep.
They're gonna have to. If they don't, they'll be getting a call from a letter from Uncle Sam.
All right.
So you think about this, and my thing is, and I know, like with Open Doors, for those guys, you know, consulting services for them, and I know there's some in-house stuff that universities have. At least I'm hoping they have these money management, because you think about this, Carter. You're 18 years old, man. Somebody gives you $1.4 million. You're away from home. You're 18 in college. I'm gonna ask you this because you're in that same demographic. How do you think you would do with 1.4? How would you do with $500,000 right now?
No idea. I don't know. I definitely need some help.
Yeah, you would probably have a lot of Bush Light ready to rock and roll.
Oh no! I'm 18. I'm 18.
I'm 18.
Cut Jay Gates' mic right now. That's the second strike within 2 minutes.
Jay, he's 18. Old Milwaukee.
Yeah. We know it's going to be Gatorade, so you're buying a lot of Gatorade for. Think about this. Would you feel okay? He's old enough to be all of our son. So you think about this, Carter. You're 18 years old. Okay, you're making that $500,000. Would you be the type of athlete that says, knowing what you know about yourself now, yes, I'm making $500,000, so man, I need to keep putting in work, or I'm making $500,000. Why put in more work?
I think it's always put in more work. I think it's the same for anybody that has a full-time job making $500,000. I mean, why won't you go chase a full million? Go chase 2 million. Like,
but there's a lot of folks who don't think like that. And all of us has been in the corporate place, just kind of been. We've seen folks to be stealing basically from their companies. They be stealing, and what I mean by stealing, not just doing enough just to get the job, to keep the job, and enough not to get fired.
Like Derek Carr, $40 million every year just to be average.
Oh boy, I hope he comes out listening.
You know what I'm saying? And his brother David stealing from the Houston Texans like he was. I mean,
there's some folks. To my point, there's some folks that have been stealing for a long time. So, do you think you'd have the maturity at 18 to handle that type of money?
I mean, it's hard to know until I really have it, I guess. But I'd like to think that I do. But it's a lot of things can change once it's actually in your pocket. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I think for you to be 18 or to be one of the program producers right here, that shows the maturity level you got. Because I know at 18 years old, man, I couldn't have been running no radio station like this, just a set, stations and shows like this, man. But this is something obviously you want to do. What advice would you give to, let's say, one of your roommates, your brother, roommate's brother, good friend is in that position? What would you advise for them?
I'd advise them to go talk to somebody who knows what they're talking about, I guess, is probably the best thing I could say, because I'm also 18. I don't really know what I'm doing. So go talk to somebody who's been in the position before that knows how to handle their money, and I guess go from there.
Terrell, what would it take for you? Now, answering the question in our 40s is a lot different answer than when we're 18, 19, just like Carter just mentioned. But let's say NIL was around during that time. You got all those same schools recruiting we talked about. Where do you go? What would it take for you money-wise? Because we've had these conversations amongst ourselves in times. What dollar figure would it take for you to come to Nebraska?
Oh man, I probably still would have came here, man. It's not about the money. For me, it was just playing football.
But you think about this. That was then, but now that money's available, let's say you're a kid today with the abilities that you had. Okay, think about that. What would it take for you to go to the school? Because I know you wouldn't, because that's not our mentality. But I'm saying, knowing the money's out there and it's legal, etc. There's money being offered out there. What would it take for you?
Probably say a couple of 100,000.
Couple 100,000.
Probably. I mean, for me putting my talent on display like that, I probably about $250 a year.
What about you, Raff?
I don't know, but what he just said, that's a bargain for me. I'm going after Terrell right now and bringing him back.
Oh, money.
With $250,000 for Terrell Farley, that's a bargain.
You can get me now. You can get me now for $150. All right?
There we go.
I'll give you 3 plays a quarter. I'm 46 years old.
3 plays a quarter.
And I'll give you all the good water on the sideline.
Terrell, man, like I said, it's been a blast having you on the show, but a few more questions before we have to wrap this up here shortly. Definitely goes by quick. What if at that time, okay, again, the transfer portal was available, and this is just thinking hypothetically, and you had to transfer, you didn't have a choice, where would you have gone at that time? If not Nebraska, you wouldn't play for the Dogs.
I would have went home.
Did Georgia recruit you coming out of high school?
Yeah, sort of, kind of. Georgia wasn't really like feeling the small linebackers like I was. They like theirs 240 plus. So it's just the scheme. Whoever I fits in with, and that was kind of funny because they never even said anything about my weight when they recruited me here. They just threw me out there and just let me play.
Wow.
They had you at 205. Is that what you played at, 205, or was it 205? All right,
205. I never weighed over 210. Couldn't weigh over 210. I felt fat. Just a lot of Suster Kyle and creatine.
That's Suster Kyle and creatine, baby.
Terrell just like wearing those cut-off Husker jerseys and showing off the 9-pack.
He had that hamster. Reggie Cooper used to wear his like that too, man. Big brother Coop.
Yeah.
Reggie Cooper would have number 17. He'd wear his clear up there. There's a few guys actually with their high cut.
It fit right. Uh-huh. You used to come about your neighbor or something.
Oh, yeah.
For me, it was the tight pants. I think the tighter the pants, the better. Oh man. Back when we played, we used to have a size 28, and they didn't have that many here. So either 28 or 26, and it was a fight for them.
Yeah.
So. Oh man, you got a 30. I don't even want to wear the 30. But now we wear 36, 38 pants. So what's the difference?
That was back when we covered up your knees. Now they're doing.
They don't even wear pads
They don't
anymore.
even cover their knees. As an official, they're telling us guys got to cover their knees, and we tell them. But that makes no sense to me.
So is that a college rule? Is that because of the pros?
It's a rule.
Even
now.
the pros?
And then I don't know what the pros.
They made it a pro rule 2 or 3 years ago. They made it.
Yeah. But it's not enforced.
Yeah, dudes be out there wearing biker shorts.
Yeah, it's not enforced.
I mean, literally, just no pads on whatsoever. Terrell, man, it's been a pleasure. But I want to check. Let's say there's some younger kids out there listening right now, man, and they're busting their tail off in the classroom. They're busting their tail off on the field or on the court or on the track, whatever. What advice do you give young people today when they come to you seeking advice on how to be a great athlete?
First of all, I tell them just keep trying every day, get your grades. Grades are first, what I'm saying in my book, second is, train hard and listen, respect your elders and listen to your coaches, and just work out.
Absolutely. With a purpose.
Absolutely. And pick what schools that right for you, not right for your family or right for everybody else. Pick what school you like.
I love it. I love it.
All right, AD. I think that concludes it tonight. Riffin with Raff and AD with Jay Gates and Terrell Farley. I want to thank you guys for coming in tonight.
It's always a good time.
And
always.
And we will be seeing all of you
Riffin
next
with Raff.
Wednesday at next Wednesday at 7. Have a great night, everybody.
We all make choices about alcohol. Kids make choices whether to drink or not.
Bye, Dad. Remember, I'm going to Alex's party tonight and sleeping over.
Hey, remind me about that party again?
And adults make choices whether to talk about it. That's true of parents and every other trusted adult in a kid's life. Kids want to know our expectations, and they want honest answers in everyday conversations. So talk with your kids.